Hi, this is Sarah the Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm here for a weekly update. I was gonna do a stitch along video today, but I'm working on my castle, this one, and because the chart is hand drawn, it's a little trickier to follow than most charts, and I'm working on the back stitching, and I didn't want to mess up by being distracted. But I had a lot of stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I thought, well, I'll just do a regular update. So it's May 29th, I think. Yes. It's Tuesday, May 29th. And slowly getting caught up on Flosstube videos, which is fun. I'm hoping to get mostly caught up before, you know, summer vacations start, because that's bound to get me behind again. But last time I talked to you, I was just starting my castle. This is Bodiam Castle, and it was a kit that was my mother-in-law found at the castle gift shop in England. And my husband is making a model of this castle, so it was fun. She thought it would be fun for me to make it. And I'm almost done with it. I'm not done yet because I was planning to come back in 2 weeks, so I still hope to be done in a few days, but it's close. So here's what it looked like last time. And here is what it looks like now. I finished all of the cross stitches, so now I'm working on back stitching. So the first things they had me do was these little carp long stitches to be little fish, and then there's water ripples. There's 3 different colors of back stitching along in here. Next to, there's cross stitches as well, but then there's little back stitch slashes in 3 different colors. And there's a little highlight on the rock, the cannonball. And then these little guys are bramble fruit, they call them. And those were back stitched all around. Now I'm working on the dark gray up here in the castle. So that's what I would have worked on my video, but I didn't want to mess it up because there's a lot of details. And some of the lines are going to extend into the water to keep, to show more reflection. And then there's lots of foliage and sprigs that are all backstitched down here as well. So, I like backstitching, so I'm okay with this. It is a little bit trickier than some projects because of the hand-drawn nature. Even the backstitching is hand-drawn, and so sometimes you're not sure if it's where this, like if it's slanting or if it should be up and over or slanting over 2 squares. Like sometimes it's drawn a little amorphously. So I am regularly referring to the cover picture in addition to the chart, and that's actually in the instructions. They tell you to do that, so it's kind of funny, like they knew the written chart wasn't perfect and easy to follow, so they're saying make sure you look at the cover picture as well to help you just know what to do. So it is a little bit challenging, but it's still fun, and I'm having a blast almost finishing it. So if I can make it to probably Michael's, I think there's a frame there that I would probably get for this. If I can find a sale and get there before my next video, I may even try to have it finished before my next video, but if not, I'll hopefully at least have it finished, even if it's not framed. So after that, that may take me to the end of the month, but if I have any time left, I'll pull out the furry animals, Heaven and Earth designs, which, just like the castle, I feel like I kept putting the castle off over and over for other projects. Now I feel like I'm doing that with the furry animals one, which I am. So it's just, it is what it is. I've been really like contemplating and playing and rethinking plans the last few days, so I'll share some of that with you at the end. But in the meantime, I have one more project I've been working on. Oh, I have my travel project too. I always forget about that one. On the 24th, I told you I was going to work on my kids' stitching projects when their birth date comes around every month. So on the 24th was my middle son, so I was working on Dragon Ride by Teresa Winsler. And here's what it looked like last time. And here's where I got to this time. So as you can probably tell, I worked on his head, mostly. And when I first pulled this out, there was a string of the light brown in here that was still attached to the needle. So I finished the 1/1 light brown until that string ran out. And then I worked on his head. And a couple of the colors, in order to finish the string, like I did a couple stitches here and here to finish up the strings. But that's where I got to on the one day that I worked on him. So that's fun. And going forward, I was contemplating doing like a 4-day rotation instead of a 5-day rotation, to do 7 projects a month, and then I would have on a 31-day month, I'd have 3 extra days unaccounted for, which would give me a day each for these projects. On a 30-day month, I'd have 2 days unaccounted for without the 4-day rotations, and so I could work on 2 of them on their, one for 1 day, and then the third one could get an actual rotation chunk and get a 4-day chunk. So that's an option I've been thinking about. Another option that just occurred to me recently was maybe just bumping it up even more to what Dina Half Stitch Cross Stitch likes to do. I think she has a 3-day rotation most of the time. If I go to a 3-day rotation, I could get 10 projects done a month, which could allow me to do 7 of my own projects plus their 3 projects, and they get a full 3 days on them every month. Plus I would get 3 days each on 7 of my own projects. That's got a lot of appeal to it as well. So we'll see. June coming up is going to be really weird because I am going to participate in the World Cup Stitch Along towards the end of the month. So the beginning of the month is kind of awkward as well because I'm trying to like fit in everything that I couldn't fit in during the World Cup sale. And then Lorna, Ladybird Stitcher, she went and reminded everybody on her last video that her and Belinda Aussie Stitcher are going to be starting Winter Queen by Mirabilia on June 1st, because that's when the first day of winter is for Australia and the Southern Hemisphere. So I am kicking myself still for not starting Summer Queen with them in December when they started Summer Queen. I've already finished Spring Queen and Fall Queen. So let me move this a little bit. I think I'm bumping it with my chair. So they are taking their places on my wall along with Royal Holiday now, the Christmas Queen. And so it would be really nice to at least have those queens started, and then during their seasons or stitching along with the Australian seasons, I can pull them out every once in a while and just get them worked on. I know they're enormous, but I've had them kitted forever. And actually when I went to look through them, Winter Queen doesn't actually have all of her beads, but I've had the fabric for summer and winter for a long time. So I think I'm going to do it. On June 1st, I'm going to start Winter Queen with Lorna and Belinda on their first day of winter. It will still be almost summer here, but I thought it was more fun to do, rather than waiting till like I think the 21st or whenever, when it's our official first day of summer and starting Summer Queen, I'd rather stitch along with other people and work on the ones they're working on. So I'll be starting Winter Queen, and then potentially when their summer rolls around in December, I'll pull out Summer Queen and start her. And they started her this past year, I believe, but whenever they get her out again, I can get mine out and start it. And Summer Queen, I actually have all the beads for. I just have fabric for Winter Queen. So, and I'm just doing these on white because that's what is called for, and when I started the series, I was doing what was called for. They're both, all 4 seasons are called to be on white, and so I thought, I can get white fabric pretty cheaply at the store, and so my other 2 fancy queens are on white. MCG Textiles. So that's what these guys are going to be on too. So June 1st, I know I said I was over the starts, and I know I said I didn't want to start anything for a long time because I just had 4 starts. But you know how you say things and then you do exactly the opposite. So that's what happened. For some reason I'll get burnt out on starts, and then a week or 2 goes by, and then I'm over it, you know? So it's just kind of funny how that works. So I am going to start her. I'll probably only put 1 day on her, so she'll be officially like most people's Stitch Mania starts, where you only get 1 day on it. Normally I like to give a project more time when I first start it, but like I said, my June is very full of other things, but I wanted to participate in that with them, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So just June 1st will be worked on before my next update video, so you'll see that next time. And then I'll work on Touchdown on the 2nd for my older son. The 3rd of June I'll work on Storytime Sampler, just try to get that started, which is Peter Pan this time. And then the 4th, I'll hopefully come and do an update video. That day I'll work on Snow Queen, and Snow Queen will get 4 days in June, because she's a focus for June. She's the one I'm doing for my daughter. I want to try to get her finished this year, so we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, I've got all my other crazy plans for June, which I'll go into more as they come along, as I get closer. Because I do hope to still come back and do another update video next week. What else? So, going forward, I have some haul here, but I think I might, since we're talking plans, I think I'll continue to talk plans. Last time I talked about maybe doing August as like a random wild whip month, and I really, really like that idea. I still really like putting it in August because it's kind of, I don't know of any other major cross-stitch events happening in August that would take people away from it, and it's before fall stitching will really gear up too much. So, and I didn't want to wait until any other month earlier in the year because I'd have to wait too long, and I really want to do this. So, August it is. So, for me, what I'm planning to do in August is I just counted them, I updated my spreadsheets and made sure everything was current, and I have 47 current whips. If I finish Bodiam Castle in the next few days, that'll go down to 46. And who knows what'll happen between now and August. Maybe I'll finish something else. Not likely, but possibly. And so, what I'd like to do is work on 31 different whips in the month of August. But I'm going to do random generator to pick them every day. So, Leah Noel commented how if I do random generator and fill it out right now, that will give me time to move the things around and adjust them, which would take the randomness out of it. So that's a good point. Valid. So I will do them every morning to pick which project I'll work on that day, and which works for me because I have my master set of DMC. I stitch in hand, so I don't need to switch out frames or Q-snaps or anything. So it'll be really easy for me to do that. If your stitching style is different and you want to participate in this, feel free to to random generate a week in advance or the night before, or however you want to do it to make it more workable for you. The other thing is I want to make sure there's 31 different projects throughout the month of August. So if I random generate a number that I've already done, I'll do it again till I get a number that I haven't done yet, because I want to I don't want to repeat. I want everything to get at least, I want to work on as many whips as I can. What I've done so far, oh yeah, I forgot to write down her. I have filled in a few select whips that I want to do on certain days. So the 2nd, the 4th, and the 24th are my kids' projects, which I'll continue to do on those days. And then Stargazer is for Stitching Marie's birthday. She's going to start it on that day. And so I figured I'll put Stargazer in there ahead of time. But all the other days, on August 1st, I'll get out my random generator and say 1 to 46, probably at that point. We'll see. Actually, no, probably 47 because I'm starting Winter Queen. So 1 to 47, whatever it is at the time. And then I'll pick it out. And I'll write them down as I go. And what I'm also going to try to do maybe is do a vlog every day showing my, my choice and what I've worked on the day before and different things like that. So we'll see how that goes. What I would like opinions on is what to call this. I've heard a variety of suggestions so far, so I want to give a call out to name, like, hashtag suggestions. I don't think I'm up for a Facebook group. I think that'd be too much work. But we can definitely do a hashtag. I've had some suggestions of the WIP Days of Summer, or WIP-A-Palooza, or Lisa S. Stitches calls her Random WIP Day a Wild WIP. So we could do something with that maybe, or something like, something including the word random, because I want it to be not just WIPs. I kind of would want to emphasize the fact that they're random, that it's kind of a little bit more crazy. But I don't want to use mania, because that's kind of a thing, and I don't really want to, like, so WIP mania, I don't really want to use that because I don't want it to be like I'm trying to steal their name, because that's too big of a thing already in the stitching world. So I don't want to kind of encroach on that. So if you have any ideas that will kind of encompass WIPs and randomness and summer or August, or even just WIPs and randomness, because we could do this again another month, feel free to leave your suggestions below, and I will pick the one I like the best, I guess, since it's my idea. But yeah, we'll see, because I'm kind of at a loss for what to do. I know Jessie Marie comes up with some fun names sometimes, but I'm a little less gifted in that area, I guess. So I'm looking for some names for hashtags. And then, yeah, so I think I talked about everything where my rotation going forward. I filled out a new July using the 4-day rotation scenario, and I really like that style. But now I'm even more curious about like a 3-day rotation option. So I might play around a little bit more with that. Part of me, like, when I do my full coverage, I like to have more days on those. But I also feel like I have so many projects that I want to see more of them more often. And this, having a shorter day rotation could be a way to facilitate that. So, I don't know. Still thinking that one through. So going forward, I wanted to address the elephant in the room where I talked about last week a project that I ordered some supplies for that will be a 12-year project. And I want to revise that. It's probably more like 13 years. But anyways, I got the idea kind of from this. This is my Letters for Nora letter S that I got for my birthday last year, and it's all kitted, ready to go. And I'm excited to work on this. When I think it was Becky, the Obsessed Stitcher, she just finished one recently, and it was for her granddaughter. And for some reason, when she showed that, and I know other people have worked on these too, Belinda, Aussie Stitcher, is working on some for her girls, and so it's not the first time I've heard of this concept, but for some reason when Becky mentioned that she was making one for a granddaughter and had another one to do for another granddaughter, I just thought, you know what, that would be a fun thing to do for my nieces. I have 7 nieces, plus my daughter, and my oldest niece is graduating from high school in 2 years. So that made me think I can make one for each niece for a graduation present from high school, because they're so sophisticated and cute. They kind of work for a variety of ages, so it's something that I can give a 18-year-old and she'll appreciate it, but she's not really going to outgrow it, because a lot of us older women love these designs too. So I thought that could be something that could grow with them, and it would be their first initial, so it's always going to be their first initial. So what I did is I bought my first one, which I have 2 years to finish, the letter H. And I'm going to do this in the called for colors. It's really cute. I'm doing it on called for fabric that's water lily, 32 count water lily. And I already got the beads and Krynic for this one. And then this one was not on sale at the time I put it in my cart, but there was another one that was on sale. So I thought, well, I'll get that one while I'm at it, because I might as well, even though it's not one I need to do yet, but I will need to do it eventually. So I got the letter F, was on sale. In between the time I put everything in my cart and I talked to my husband and kind of went over the idea with him, and he agreed to it, the H went on sale, and another one went on sale. So I took the original H out of my cart and put in the new one, and then the L was also on sale. So I ended up getting 3 charts out of the different ones that I'll need, because these two extra ones were on sale. So I figured I might as well get them now, and I'll use them eventually. So my first niece, my oldest niece, will graduate in 2 years, and then 2 years after that, 2 nieces graduate. One of them will be the L, and one of them is an E, which I don't yet have. And then the niece with the letter F will graduate a year after that, and the year after that I have an E and an S, so I can reuse my S for her and then reuse the E from the other niece. And then 2 years after that I'll have an M, and then like 4 years after that I could do an R for my daughter, which she's going to start kindergarten this year, so that's why it's 13 years. So it's not like a complete ridiculous project, but I thought that teaser of a 12-year project was kind of fun, because it left you guys wondering. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but it is going to be an ongoing project that I hope to start soon, and potentially I could put hers in near her birthday as well. And I think I did that and do hers like my kids' projects. Whenever I'm working on that girl's letter, I can put it in near their birthday every month to get it worked on. Did I do that in September? Yeah, I kind of played around with a 4-day rotation in September too, and I thought maybe I would start both of these in September. So, because I got the fabric for the first one, because I won't need the next 2 for 4 years from now. So, I have 2 years to finish this one, which should be plenty of time, and maybe get a head start on the other ones, since there's 2 in 1 year that year. But that's kind of my my ongoing thing. So as the years progress and the next ones get closer, then I'll buy the fabric and the materials, the patterns and everything for the rest of them. So that is that, and I think it's going to be really fun, and I think I'll try to fit them all in like an 8x10 frame, so that they all feel like they're getting like a similar present, similar caliber. They're all slightly different dimensions. They're not exactly the same dimensions, but I think they're all close enough that they would fit in an 8x10. So that is that. I think I told you everything. I wanted to say. So now I'm going to go upload this and work on my castle. So have a wonderful week and enjoy your stitching. Bye. And I realized I forgot to show you my travel piece, so let's do that real quick. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Here is, I'm working on these March and April, finished April already, and I've been working on March from Little House Needleworks. This is what it looked like last time. And here is where I'm at now. Just about finished. The center is all done, and then I'm working on the little lacy bits around the edge, and when that's done it'll be finished. And I'm hoping, the plan is to meet with Shelly this week just to get together and stitch, and these are her charts and I'm borrowing them, so I'm hoping to get this packet finished to give back to her when we meet on later this week. So, and then I will move on to May and June. So that'll be fun. And I still have not fully finished these, and part of me is not super concerned about it because they're not done in the month. I mean, I'm finishing them like after the month is over, so I don't have this big drive to get them finished and displayed right now. But eventually I will. I'm planning to do little flat folds, and I have a little easel that I'm gonna like put them on, so that's kind of the plan. And I think that's really it. So have a wonderful week of stitching, and I look forward to seeing all your videos and following people on Instagram, and enjoy the weather, whether it's getting warmer or cooler depending on where you live, and talk to you later. Happy stitching!